Ah. Well, I am back from another short hiatus. Unfortunately, both of my kids came down with um, fevers and coughs and all sorts of nastiness, so wasn't able to get away and post any content or anything like that while I was tending to them. So, apologize for the lack of content, but I'm back and ready to jump right into this as we go. You will hear my chickens now and again. They decided to follow me out up into the woods, along with one of my dogs. So, while we're on the subject of dogs, let's look at dogs as spirit animals. Dogs represent, to a lot of people, things like loyalty and... Come on, Win! They represent a lot of things like loyalty. They represent steadfastness. They represent interpersonal communication. Come here. Up. Win. Hey. Yeah. I know, you're excited to be outside again. But I think that that's really only scratching the surface of the dog as a spirit animal. Dogs are familial creatures. Similar to wolves, but in a different way. I feel like they represent a sort of almost childlike communication with one another, where it's not about the faces that you put on. It's not about the faces that they put on. It's all about how they actually feel. So perhaps if you've got a dog for a spirit animal in your dreams right now, what you need to be focusing on is you need to be focusing on whether or not the face that you're wearing is really all that beneficial to you and to those that you choose to interact with. Dogs don't pretend, really. They never say something to save face. If they did something, you typically know it. They wear their guilt on their face. If they didn't do something, then they get very confused as to why they're being yelled at. So I feel like they're just much more childlike honesty. And that is definitely something that's more or less lacking in our modern society. Perhaps if your spirit guide right now is the dog, you need to be focusing on making sure that the face that you wear is more true to the intentions that you have, especially towards those in your familial group, whether that be your social circle, your group of friends, your actual family, whatever social circles you keep. You need to be thinking about what it is that your face says about you, as opposed to if you were to just wear your actual emotions on your sleeve, as it were. Now, with the dog out of the way for now, we can jump over to something that not many people have told me, but a few people have told me that they think that their spirit animal may be an entire flock of chickens. Well, that's interesting. That got me thinking, how exactly do chickens interact with one another? And I've been watching my chickens a lot, watching how they interact with each other, how they interact with me, how they interact with some of my other birds. I've got some guinea fowl and we have ducks. So how do these chickens interact? And how can I draw inspiration as to the meaning of a chicken spirit animal from those interactions? And I feel like chickens interact as a kind of social group. They're fairly tight-knit. You've got your rooster and his hens, and interestingly enough, I have discovered that roosters don't go after food first. In fact, if a rooster finds something that he feels like would be a tasty morsel, he will actually forego eating it himself to call his hens over so that the hens can eat it. And that's interesting. So perhaps taking that into account, if the chicken is your spirit animal, you should be thinking of sharing the things that you find in life with those that you're close to. Whether that be a book that you really love, whether that be a movie or TV series, or perhaps you have a particular passion for drawing or something along those lines, writing, poetry. Perhaps you should share that with the people that are close to you instead of keeping it to yourself. I feel like sharing is a fairly important part of chicken social dynamics, at least from what I've observed watching mine. The rooster is also extremely protective of his hens. If he feels like even I am a threat, he will puff up and get ready to kick me. I've had more than one rooster-induced injury to my shin. They are not pleasant. We're just going to leave it at that. But protection of your family group can definitely be taken too far, but I wonder if not enough of us take it seriously. Maybe go out of your way and tell your family member that's struggling that you've got their back. Don't just count on them to intrinsically know it. Show them that you have their back and that you're willing to, go above and beyond for that particular family member. So I feel like that kind of breaks down the dog and the chicken for today's video. Now, it is raining a little bit, so I'll probably wrap up this video here soon, but wanted to take an opportunity to thank all of my subscribers and all of the people who watch my videos and comment. Sometimes, especially during times when I get sick or my kids get sick or my wife gets sick, it's hard for me to keep up the energy as far as keeping the channel going and whatnot. And so I want to thank all of you who interact with me. Even just one-off interactions help me kind of recenter myself and remember what it is that I'm doing this channel for. And so with that, thank you very much. Look forward to the next video. And as always, if you have any comments, something that you'd like to see me do in my video series, leave a comment, let me know. I'll be happy to try and work in anything that I can get worked in. And blessings of the forest to everybody, and have a very good day.
All right. And